Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Aisha, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please make sure to subscribe. I upload every Sunday new videos about my life here in Korea, and today I'm going to film a Get Ready With Me while I'm going to answer your questions about everything concerning Korea. And yeah, mostly it's about my life as a model here in Korea. The questions were about modeling, relationships, and general life as a black person here in Korea. I think it was back in March when I asked on my Instagram stories like that you can ask me any question concerning these topics, and yeah, here we go. I'm gonna start answering all the questions that you ask. And as for the makeup products that I use, I'm just going to link them all down in the description box. So let's get started. First question: where did you live before Korea? So before coming to Korea, I lived in Italy, in like 50% in Italy and 50% in Austria. It sounds strange, but because of work, I had a job which was like half of the week I was working in Italy, and I'm actually from Italy, but I studied in Austria, and I had a other part-time job at the university where I studied in Austria, and I was teaching there as part-time while I was doing the PhD there. Why did you move to Korea? I didn't come to Korea because of modeling. I came to Korea to have like gap year. I came to Korea not for staying. I never had the intention to stay in Korea. My intention was like to stay here for maybe like 6 months, maximum 1 year. And I wanted to come here to practice dancing actually. Always when I say this, people ask me like, oh, you like K-pop dancing? And I'm like, no. So no, actually I really like locking dance, and I don't know if you guys know that dance style, but it's a dance style. Actually, it's not from Korea, it's an American dance style. It's from the West Coast, and I went actually to LA before. I was there first for 1 month, and first for 2 months and after for 1 month, but I didn't vibe really with the American lifestyle. And actually there I got to know some Asian people. There are a lot of Asian people there, a lot of Asian dancers there, and they told me actually there are a lot of there's a big locking scene in Korea and Japan. So I was like, oh, actually I really like Japan. I liked animes and stuff, and I was always like a Japan fan, and I didn't know a lot about Korea, so I first was like, okay, I want to go to Japan then. But the thing was like, how do I go to Japan? Like, how can I go there? And that's why I went to Korea, because I realized there is like the opportunity to do like a working holiday. Like they give you a visa for 1 year. You can do only like unprofessional jobs, like jobs where you just work as a part-timer. And yeah, I was like, that's perfect. I can work during the day, and at night I go to dance schools. And that's what I did for the first 6 months. How long have you been in Korea? I've been here in Korea for 3 years now. How old are you? I'm 29 years old, international age. I'm not going to tell you the Korean age. You can like calculate it by your own. When did you start modeling? I started modeling in 2000 9. But let me tell you, like, my hometown is very, very small. It's a city, but it's like almost countryside, but still, like, I started doing there, and the thing is that there are a couple of fashion shows there, so actually there were some nice jobs that we did there. It was quite fun. I also participated to a type of model, how do you call it, competition. Also very small, nothing fancy, but still, and that's how I started. Yeah. But it was always during like studies, and never as a full-time, because that would have never been possible. I heard it's not a lot of foreigners in Korea, so was it hard to become a model there? So it's true, there are not a lot of foreigners in Korea compared to other countries, but I think exactly because of that, it's not difficult to become a model if you are a foreigner, because there are not a lot of foreigners. There's not a lot of competition, and yeah, of course there are like some models like from other countries that come like for a certain amount of months, like maybe for 3 months they come and then they leave again. But there are not a lot of other models here that stay here like permanently, so that's why the competition is not that big, so it's not that hard to become a model. The other question is to stay here as a model and to keep on getting jobs. That maybe is the harder part, but to become a model, it's pretty easy. And I think mostly every foreigner here in Korea started to do at least one modeling job. If it's not been like a fashion modeling job, it's maybe being like an extra in a Korean drama. I think that's almost everyone did that. What is your modeling agency name? So I don't have one modeling agency, because the thing here in Korea is very different. Like, it works very different compared to other countries. There are of course like modeling agencies that have like exclusive contract models, but for many foreigners there are like agencies that give jobs to freelance models. Actually, I work with many different agencies always. When they have a job, they contact me, and yeah, that's it. Why did you choose freelancing? Yeah, exactly because of that, and also because of the fact that also compared to other countries, Korean exclusive agencies, they take much higher percentage than other agencies in other countries. I actually wanted to be a contract model at the beginning, but I didn't get a contract. I went to different agencies, but they always like, I realized they weren't interested in me, because also I had a couple of kilos more on my hips, and I'm not the youngest person, so usually contract models are very young here. When I see like some are even like under 16 years old or 17 years old. And then later, like there were some agencies who contacted me, like for example last year. But then now that I have my clients, I have my companies that are like, I have my list of agents that I work with, so I already know the how do you call it? I know how the industry works now, so that's why I decided to stay a freelance model. I want to be a model in Korea, and is it worth it? Does it have a good salary? Okay, so first question, is it worth it? So lately I've been using this cream blush. I love it. I bought it like a year ago. I never used it, but now I've been using it recently. I started using it recently, and I just realized how good it is actually. Okay, back to the question. Is it worth it? Of course, you need... I cannot answer that question for you because you need to know like if it's worth for you. There is a lot of negotiation here, so you have to be good at negotiation. So of course, people will always try to offer like the lowest price because they always say like we don't have a budget and stuff. But if you can show them that you have enough experience and stuff, and if your like words are reasonable why you are asking for a higher price and stuff, then you always can talk about the price. But one thing that is not so good about salary is that there's a bunch of foreigners who model just because they're foreigners, but they don't have a lot of experience, so they accept a very low price, which the price range lowers a lot. So that's the thing that for us full-time models we have to struggle with that. But usually when we can show our experience and stuff, or usually clients who after working one time with an unexperienced model, the second time they will choose to work maybe with an experienced model, or maybe that unexperienced model will become an experienced model. So you never know, but you always need to negotiate in this job. And if you don't like to negotiate, then it's better to be in an agency, like an exclusive model, and not be freelancer, because yeah, as a freelancer you have to be able to negotiate. I know it's a personal question, but how did you manage to work full-time as a model? Well, let's say like this. My first year working as a model was a little bit of a struggle, I admit it. I really didn't make much more money than I did at my office job, for example. I didn't earn more, but I must say since last year I'm pretty comfortable, and I think it really has to do with the experience that you have, the people that you know, and yeah, so the more settled down you are in the industry, the better it will get, I think. And yeah, also of course I lost a lot of weight, and I know people always say like, it's a bad thing about Korea that people are so concerned about weight and stuff, but I really experienced like 100% that as soon as I started losing weight, people really talked to me, like for especially agents, they told me like straight into the face, like, oh my god, you lost so much weight, that's so good. And they started contacting me like much more, and like for much better jobs, and like for more fashion jobs. And yes, so that really helped a lot. What cardio exercises do you do? I just walk. Every day I do 1 hour walking. I use the treadmill. Possible for a Nigerian 5 feet 8, I think, 25 years old, to model in Korea. So what is 5 feet 8? Let me check. 5 feet 8 in centimeter. 172. Of course. There are a lot of models who are even shorter here in Korea, so you don't have to worry about your height at all. So yeah, as long as you're over 170, everything is perfect. And also the age, please let's not talk about it, because I'm 20. I'm not 20, I'm 29. How does one start to become a model with no experience? The first step is to practice posing. If you want to be a runway model, you of course need to practice walking. But for posing, to practice posing, the best thing is to like watch pictures of other models posing, like a lot of fashion magazines. Like I used to buy magazines at that time because the Instagram and Pinterest and all those stuff was very in the beginning. So I literally bought like the Vogue and InStyle, I remember, and those magazines, and just watch the editorials and checked on how they are posing. Just make photo shootings with your friends. I think that's also a good idea. So just that you stop being like nervous in front of the camera, because I think that's the biggest issue. So it's just like a sport. If you do a certain move, it's just like dancing. If you do a choreography over and over again, if you do a move over and over again, then moves will come automatically. And the same is with poses. If you do poses over and over again, if you are on a photo shoot, then the different poses will come naturally. So it's like muscle memory. Do you face any challenges being a black model in Korea? We get a lot of jobs, for example, for street style wear and stuff, and or for example, like the thing is that if they want to have a dancer, like a hip-hop dancer or like a basketball player or stuff like that, they always want to have a black person or like a black model. So that's the thing that we get a little bit like annoyed. Not even like, it's because in the end, like, we still get the job, right? So it's okay. It's still like the thing, why don't we get the other role, like for example being a professional, I don't know, doctor or teacher or professor or something like this, you know? We always get the role of the gangster or something like this. So this happens often also in music videos sometimes, or in movies, like in dramas or stuff like that. When there's like the bad guy or something, it's usually like the black person who gets the role. But I think that's not only in Korea. And the other struggle, I think, here is when it comes to hair and makeup. The reason why I got into makeup really has to be with the fact that I went to shootings, and every time I realized they don't have my foundation, they don't, like, when I do my makeup, even though I don't have any skill, I look much better than when they did it. And also the thing that they don't even wanna like accept that they have no idea how to do it. They just, in front of the client, the makeup artist just pretends that they know what they're doing, but you can clearly see that they have no idea what to do. My skin, my skin is is about a shade or two darker than yours, and I want to study foreign languages in Korea. As a black person, I'm worried that they might not be able to do my hair, and I also worry they will discriminate against my skin being darker. I just answered part of the question, so probably they won't really be able to do your hair, but there are like some black people here who, for example, do braids and stuff, who have like a hair salon. Not many, you have to know them, but there are. I think everywhere you go, you will find people who will discriminate against your skin. So not only like Korea, because I must say, me personally, I found more discrimination in my hometown in Italy than here in Korea. So I will just say this because yeah, just leave it here. What products do you use for your hair? I struggle to find some good ones for me here. So okay, so I guess you live here. And I buy my products on Coupang. So Coupang is a must know for everyone who lives in Korea. It's something like the Korean Amazon, because Amazon, for example, as many other things, works for the whole world but not for Korea. So yeah, Korea has its own. Like the whole world has Google, but Korea has its own. Korea has Naver. So yeah, but Coupang is even better than Amazon because Coupang delivers the next day. Of course, for the hair products, they are shipped from outside of Korea. It takes longer than just one day. But yeah, I ordered the Cantu products and also Shea Monster moisturizer. Hello, I've heard about the fact that Korean people don't like black skin people and don't really accept them in their community. Is that true, Miss Aisha? Of course, cannot talk for everyone, and of course there are racist people, but everywhere you go in the world you will find racist people. And yes, so I'm sure there are a lot of Korean people who have nothing against black people and who accept black people and who love black culture, because really, like, there are really a lot of people who really embrace black culture, even more than, like, for example, white culture, because we always think like Asian people only like white culture. So yeah, you can never generalize. And of course, yeah, studying it, please, just a little bit more, okay? I'm planning to study in Korea later, and I really want to try dating. You think they are interested in African women? Yes, why not? I think, like, you can find everywhere people who are interested in African women. You can everywhere find people who are not interested in black women or African women. So, like, I have also a bunch of other, like, questions before, like, people asking me, like, how is it, like, dating in Korea? Like, is it possible to find, like, serious relationships? Honestly, it's difficult to answer this question because, for example, if you're planning to come to Korea, you might be lucky and just land and find your dream boy and just fall in love to each other, and yeah, and that's it. But I must say, like, I cannot say 100%, but so many people had so many bad experiences, me included. And yeah, so we are seen as foreigners. We are seen as the person that they want to try out. So of course there are a lot of people, but in every country, like, there are trash men, and, like, yeah, you will encounter them here as well. So, like, you will certainly not find, if you are, like, a person who loves, like, Korean drama, you will most certainly not find those type of people here in Korea. But I'm pretty sure you already know that. You mentioned coming to Korea made a huge difference. I would love to know why and why you chose Korea. Like, my lifestyle changed a lot. First of all, because I was not working as a model when I was living in Italy / Austria. I was in a was an academic when I was in Italy, so I had a very different lifestyle there. Topics that we talked about were very different than compared to the topics that I'm talking now, because now it's all about like fashion and brands and makeup and style and beauty and stuff, and before it was all about like analytics and math and statistics and economics and nerdy, and I loved it, but it's so different, so that's why it's a huge difference. So yeah, I must say I feel like my life before was like a different life, and I've been reborn again. Let's say it like this, because it's been really different. And yeah, but I love it, and I don't regret like having that I had this life before, because it was a nice experience, and I don't regret changing my life because I like my life how it is now. How about lifestyle in Korea? Lifestyle in Korea, it depends on which job do you make, which type of friends do you have. You can have every different type of lifestyle, because also my first 6 months here in Korea, I was doing a lot of dancing, so I was always with dancers, so my lifestyle was also already so different from my lifestyle right now. Also, when I was single, I had a very different lifestyle from now where I'm in a relationship. So you can have every different type of lifestyle. Is it difficult living in Korea in the beginning? In the beginning, I think if you are planning to stay here in the long run, it's maybe challenging, because you have to do a lot of paperwork and everything, like to get settled down and stuff, and also like finding like a home, and also like for the deposit for the apartment, because the deposit is very high here and everything. So that's hard. But if you're in the beginning and you're like planning to stay only a couple of months, it's like easy, because you're just like thinking like, I would like to know why you like living in Korea. I like living in Korea because I think it's a safe place to live, first of all, and I like the subway system. How did you meet your boyfriend? I'm gonna do a totally separate video about that together with my boyfriend, I think, because I think you want to hear his part of the story as well. Favorite dish, because food is amazing. My favorite dish is tteokbokki, because it's just so greasy and fat and meo. How do you say meo? Spicy. What is your favorite place to go shopping? Favorite place to go shopping? Girl? Was it? Yeah, of course it was a girl, because I think 99% of the questions were made by girls. Girl, I don't shop clothes here in Korea. I'm sorry, but first of all, like, there are two reasons. Reason number one, I cannot buy pants here in Korea because they're too short. Even in Italy, like, pants were all too short for me, so I always had to get extra size, like extra length. And here in Korea, they even have the Asian size. So like H&M has Asian size, so that means that's even smaller than the normal size. So yeah, you can forget it. And the second reason is I don't like the Korean fashion style for women, because like women fashion style, they don't like to show their shoulders, and especially in summer I want to show my shoulders. And also, I don't know, they don't care about showing their legs, but I like, sometimes I like showing my legs, but like when the hot pants are too short, like that's not, no, I'm not 14 anymore. So yeah. And also, like, just the type of the fit, and they use a lot of cardigans. I don't like cardigans, and yeah, just not my style. So I always buy online from abroad, which is I spend a lot of money on shipping costs and stuff, but yeah, that's life when you live in Korea. What's your favorite place to visit? My favorite place to visit is like my neighborhood. I love my neighborhood. I love like the Lotte World area. I like Seokjeonhosu, which is like the lake around the Lotte World. So I like taking a walk there. It's very beautiful when the spring is coming and also summer. I hate winter, but I hate winter in every country because just I don't like the cold. And yeah, how often does it snow in Korea? This year it snowed a lot of times, but yeah, last year it didn't snow at all. It didn't snow a lot, so I don't think you can say it snows a lot in Korea or it doesn't snow a lot. It's always different. And last question, any suggestions on what colleges in South Korea should I apply? I have no idea about colleges because I didn't study here in Korea, but there are a lot of students who are here in Korea, so just DM them. I think they will be happy to help you out. So that's it for that little or big, I don't know if it was like, there were a couple of questions, but anyway, my makeup is also done. I hope you liked it, and I hope you liked also this video and you found it informative about what I said, and that you got about a better insight about my life and about life in general here in Korea as a foreigner and as a black model or as a black person in general here in Korea. If you enjoyed my video, please give it a thumbs up, and please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I see you in my next one.